It began with a photograph that should never have existed. On the morning of October 2, 2025, a screenshot of a classified police notice about actor Yu Menglong's death appeared online, but what caught everyone's eye wasn't the content. It was the faint watermark at the bottom right corner, Tian Hairong Studio. The image spread like wildfire. Within minutes, hashtags exploded. Who leaked the file? Tian Hairong knows too much? Justice for Yu Menglong. By noon, Weibo had collapsed under the storm. Every news outlet replayed the same question. Did a private citizen, even one as powerful as Tian Hairong, have access to an internal police document before it was made public? Inside the chaos, one reporter watched silently. Li Wei, senior investigative journalist for Eastline Weekly, covered scandals before, but this felt different. This was no ordinary leak. This was a message. The newsroom buzzed around her. Editors barked orders. Fact-checkers scrambled to trace IPs. Someone shouted. Hairong deleted the post. It's gone. It was already too late. Thousands had saved the image. Frozen proof that something much bigger was unfolding. Li Wei's editor slid a file across her desk. You covered the Yu Menglong case last month, he said. Now the world thinks Tian Hairong's behind it. Find out if that's true, and if it is, how deep it goes. The name alone carried weight. Tian Hairong, once the darling of Chinese cinema, crowned the eternal lotus for her beauty and grace. Then, the sudden transformation, a producer, a CEO, a billionaire businesswoman who owned 3 major entertainment companies. Her empire had risen quietly, elegantly, while others collapsed around her. For the first time, her silence was cracking. Li Wei began where everything had ended, the luxury apartment complex known as Sunshine East Residence, where Yu Menglong's body had been found 3 weeks earlier. The guards at the entrance avoided her gaze. The lobby was unnervingly spotless, as if nothing tragic had ever happened there. Yet the air felt heavy, thick with words unsaid. A resident, an elderly woman with trembling hands, spoke in whispers. I saw them that night. Men in black suits, carrying boxes. Told us to stay inside. Next morning, someone came with an envelope, 10,000 yuan. Said it was for psychological comfort. Who sent it? Li Wei asked. The woman hesitated. The envelope had a logo, a golden H. Like Horizon Media. Horizon Media, Tian Hairong's empire. Li Wei's pulse quickened. Further down the hall, a young couple refused to open their door but slipped a note through the crack. We can't talk. They told us to forget what we saw. Later that evening, Li Wei sat alone in her car, watching the building security feed on her laptop, footage obtained from a source inside the property management office. At 1:37 a.m., the night Yu Menglong died, a tall man in a dark suit left the building carrying a metal briefcase. The timestamp matched the moment witnesses heard a strange thud upstairs. Deep was the video. The man's silhouette was indistinct, but the briefcase bore the same golden H. She leaned back, heart pounding. Someone from Tian Hairong's company had been there. The next day, Li Wei reached out to an old friend, a financial analyst who once worked with Horizon Media. Over coffee, he spoke carefully, eyes darting to every corner of the cafe. Horizon isn't just a media company, he said. It's a network. They fund political campaigns, film studios, even real estate. Everything connects back to her. Handed Li Wei a single-page document, a transaction log showing a transfer of 11.8 million yuan from Horizon Media to a company called Sun East Property Services. The date? September 11th, the day Yu Menglong died. She scanned the registry records. Sun East Property Services had been founded just 3 days before the transaction, and dissolved 3 days later. A shell company. A money channel. A cover. She felt a chill creep up her spine. Back in the newsroom, Li Wei pinned printed screenshots and documents across the wall, photos of Tian smiling at charity galas, side by side with lines of cold, lifeless numbers. To the world, Tian was elegance personified, a woman who turned heartbreak into empire, who rejected a 46 billion yuan inheritance to prove her independence. But beneath that legend, something darker was breathing. When Li Wei finally confronted one of Tian's former assistants, the woman's hands trembled as she stirred her tea. She's not evil, the assistant said softly. But she learned that silence is power. Everything she does is about control, controlling the story, controlling the audience, Controlling fear. Was she controlling the police too? Li Wei asked. The woman's expression froze. Do you really want the answer to that? That night, Li Wei returned home to find a new message in her inbox. No subject line, no signature. Just one attachment, a high-resolution image of the leaked police notice. The same one Tian had posted. Except this time, the watermark at the bottom right had been replaced. Now it read, Property of Horizon Legal Department. And at the bottom, a warning in plain text. Stop digging. She owns more than companies, she owns people. The message vanished seconds after she read it. Li Wei barely slept. The next morning, she scrolled through Tian's social media. Every post was clean, polished. Philanthropic, awards, charity events, press photos. But one new post caught her eye. It was a short video, a flicker of light. Standing in a dim office, saying only, "Justice will be served." The video lasted 6 seconds. Then it was gone. Deleted within minutes. But someone had screenshotted it. And the comments flooded in. It was more than the police. She's sending a signal. Queen is protecting her throne. By now, Li Wei felt the ground beneath her shifting. Began as a celebrity scandal was turning into a battle of empires, one woman against the machinery of truth itself. That evening, while reviewing footage in her apartment, noticed a reflection in her window, a figure standing on the sidewalk below, staring up at her. When she blinked, he was gone. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. One text. You're asking who's behind it? You're late. Already moved the evidence offshore. Li Wei froze. She opened her laptop. Email had arrived, no sender, no subject. Just a file labeled Horizon Files, confidential, do not publish. Her hands shook as she double-clicked. Screen filled with documents, offshore bank records, encrypted chat logs, photos of black briefcases, list of names. At the bottom of the last page, one line stood out. Contained the narrative. Silence all witnesses. Reward compliance. Her cursor hovered over the final attachment, a video file. Before she could open it, her lights flickered. Laptop screen went black. Then blinked back to life. Across the screen, a single message appeared in red. The truth has a price. Are you willing to pay it? Outside, thunder rumbled over the city. Li Wei sat frozen, the glow of the monitor reflecting in her eyes. She didn't move for a long time. Slowly, she whispered, "Yes." Storm broke. Lightning lit the skyline like a pulse of truth clawing to be seen. Somewhere beyond the rain, a woman named Tian Hairong closed her office blinds and smiled. When the storm passed, the city woke to silence. No one knew that. Somewhere in a cramped apartment filled with coffee cups and open laptops, journalist Li Wei had just stumbled upon something that could topple an empire. The Horizon file sat on her screen like a ticking bomb, thousands of documents buried deep in encrypted folders. Click was a doorway to another secret. The first folder was labeled Internal Communications. Inside were fragments of emails, names blacked out. Timestamps from the days leading up to Yu Menglong's death. From y.liu at horizonlegal.cn to director at horizonmedia.cn. Contain the neighbors. Silence before dawn. Coverage will be provided. Another file contained a spreadsheet titled Relief Fund Transfers, hundreds of payments to residents of Sunshine East residents, disguised as psychological compensation. Amounts varied, 30,000 yuan, 80,000 yuan, 200,000 yuan, depending on proximity to Yu Menglong's apartment. At the bottom of the sheet, one name was circled in red, Tian Hairong, approved. Li Wei felt her stomach tighten. Proof was staring back at her. She opened the next folder, Security Operations. Of stills from CCTV footage, men in suits, late-night visits. License plates of unmarked cars. One video. Timestamped 1:37 a.m. Matched the exact frame she had seen before, the man carrying the briefcase marked with a golden H. Now she had his face. Traced the ID through Horizon's internal registry. His name was Chen Tao, head of security operations. 1 week after Yu Menglong's death, Chen Tao resigned. 2 days later, he vanished. His phone disconnected. His social media wiped clean. Every trail led to a dead end. Every name in the files eventually disappeared. Yet one thread remained, a private chat labeled T. Hairong, CEO, and L. Joe, Finance Director. L. Joe, the money's been distributed. No one will talk. T. Hairong, good. Fear buys silence longer than gold. Li Wei exhaled. It was the first time Tian's own words appeared in the files, and they dripped with cold control. But the deeper she went, the files became. In a folder named Archive read. Notes from another investigation, 2 actors. Both dead by suicide. Both connected to Horizon-funded dramas. Death surrounded by anomalies. The same police liaison signed every report. Same Horizon subsidiary handled post-incident crisis control. Li Wei realized Yu Menglong wasn't the first. Was the third. The pattern was undeniable. Each victim had tried to expose something: financial fraud, sexual misconduct, exploitation, and each had died within weeks of threatening to go public. And every time, Horizon Media appeared just outside the frame. Quiet and untouchable. A witness. Someone inside. At 2 a.m., her encrypted chat blinked with a new message. Don't know me. But I know her. Meet me at 9. The old theater on Nanjing Road. Morning, Li Wei arrived early. The theater was abandoned, paint peeling. Stage curtain stiff with dust. A man emerged from the shadows. Face hidden under a hood. I worked for her, he said. His voice was low, trembling. I was her assistant. You mean Tian Hairong's? He nodded. For 3 years. Scheduled her meetings. Handled her messages. I saw everything. Handed her a flash drive. You think she's a monster. But you don't understand, she's scared. Made her do it. Li Wei frowned. They. The people funding Horizon. Politicians. Investors. She was their front, the beautiful face of the machine. When Yu Menglong started asking questions about production money, they panicked. He found something in the contracts, offshore payments. Through film projects. He wasn't supposed to. They silenced him. The man looked away. She didn't pull the trigger. He ordered the silence. He sighed. She thought she could control it. She couldn't. Before Li Wei could ask more, the man's phone buzzed. His eyes widened. They know I'm here. He dropped the flash drive into her hand and ran into the alley. She never saw him again. Back at her apartment. They opened the drive. Inside, an audio recording, 47 seconds long. Woman's voice, unmistakable, Tian Hairong's. They think I control everything. But I'm controlled too. If I stop now. Come for my daughter. The words hit her like a blade. The mastermind was also a prisoner. The files didn't just expose Tian, they exposed an entire system built on silence, fear, and blood money. Days later, Li Wei published her article, The Horizon Files, The Empire of Silence. It went live at midnight. Every major outlet in Asia had picked it up. The government launched an investigation. Horizon Media's stocks plummeted. And Tian Hairong broke her silence. In a live interview broadcast across China, she appeared calm, dressed in gray. Eyes flashed as she faced the nation. I never killed anyone, she said. Her voice trembling just enough. But I killed my silence too late. Audience gasped. The anchor pressed for details. But she refused to elaborate. Hours later, she was detained for obstruction of justice. Outside, protesters filled the streets, some demanding punishment, others chanting her name as a martyr. Days, social media burned with fury. Memes, debates, threats, sympathy. Tian became both villain and victim, saint and sinner. 1 week later, a sealed envelope arrived at Li Wei's office. No return address. Inside, a handwritten note. Make me disappear. Don't let my daughter inherit my silence. Attached a note was a USB drive labeled Final Proof. Wei inserted it into her computer. A grainy video appeared, a man dragging Yu Menglong's body across the hallway, covering him with a white sheet. Face was clear this time, Chen Tao. The missing security head. Timestamp, 5 minutes before police arrived. This was the final evidence. The piece that made everything undeniable. Li Wei published it. The world erupted again. But 2 days later, Tian Hairong vanished from detention. The official statement said she had been transferred. No record showed where. Rumors claimed she'd been taken abroad under witness protection. Others whispered she'd been silenced for good. In her final report, Li Wei wrote, "All deceived. The truth was never disgusting, what they did to bury it was. And somewhere out there, the woman we condemned may still be running from the monsters she once served." That night, Li Wei sat by her window, rain tapping against the glass. On her desk, the Horizon files flickered on the screen, now public, archived forever. The world knew the truth. Didn't come. The empire had fallen. Shadows remained. Outside, lightning illuminated the skyline once more, the same pulse of light that had started everything. Far away, in a city she would never name, looked out from behind tinted glass, her face half hidden in the reflection. She whispered to no one, "It's not over." Then she closed the curtains.